And joining us now is the new chairman of the Cattlemen's Beef Board, Brackett. Jared, tell us a little bit about yourself and your ascension to this role as president.
So you can essentially say this started about 5 years ago when I got nominated to the Cattlemen's Beef Board. I'm a producer from Idaho, southern Idaho, down by Twin Falls, cow-calf stocker operation run with my wife. We're fifth generation, so we've been there for a couple years, and we have a history of being involved in the industry and giving back to the thing that makes us so much money. So when I had the opportunity to be nominated by the USDA to serve on the beef board, I said, I'm going to jump at that chance and then get a little more involved. You get on a couple committees and then run for leadership, and I was fortunate enough to be selected, and well, here I am today.
That's fantastic, and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that you have a long history, your family gets really involved. Why do you and your family believe it's so important to volunteer so much of your own time for industry causes and organizations like this?
So it comes back down to grassroots. Decisions are made by people who show up. Okay. And honestly, I think it's really important that our producers show up and they're involved, because if we don't have grassroots people making decisions, then our whole system breaks down. So we've always been involved, and I feel it's important that we continue to have grassroots people show up and be involved.
I couldn't agree more. And so tell me specifically, what are some of your goals as chairman over the next year?
So as chairman, my main goal is to keep the ship sailing straight, right? I mean, nobody wants the wheels to fall off on their term. But,
right.
But in all seriously, we want to continue to make sure people know that they're involved. We're trying to communicate directly with our producers more. We've got a producer communication that's out that's called The Drive. Someone's maybe reconnecting. We did a good job in telling our story when we passed the checkoff originally, but we're trying to educate people again that maybe don't understand exactly what the checkoff is, and maybe that's part of our reason for some of our detractors. So we're really trying to reconnect with our consumers and our producers. Let's keep this thing moving forward.
Yeah, you mentioned you don't want the wheels to fall off, and we laugh about it at one level, but the reality is there are some who would like to destroy the checkoff. And I'm curious, from your perspective, why is the checkoff so important to the beef industry?
So it's our way of telling our story, and we get over $40 million that we allocate every year, or this last year, at the operating committee meeting. And out of that $40 million, if you look at, we got a return of $11.90, that's a huge amount of money spent. But that's just a drop in the bucket compared to what some of these anti-agriculture groups are spending to destroy our way of life. So it's really important that we continue to promote and preserve beef.
I want to put you on a spot for just a minute and ask you a comment that I hear in press and on blogs and so forth that suggests, beef checkoff's only a tax, and frankly the money only goes to a couple of organizations. What do you say to folks who raise that issue?
So in order to be a contractor for the checkoff, it's pretty stringent as far as the qualifications. You have to be a national organization. You can't have the only work can be done for promotion. It can't be for lobbying, it can't be for policy. And so we've got a number of contractors, whether we're talking about U.S. Cattlemen, who are a new contractor this year that wanted to do a demand study, or Farm Bureau, who's doing, a bunch of ag work in classrooms and stuff, or the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, National Meat Institute of America, the U.S. Export Federation. Right. These guys do a lot of work for us. So when you look at the number of contractors we have, and I'm going to say there's around 10, I don't know the exact number, but it varies a little bit, but it's hard to be a contractor because they have to do it on a cost recovery basis. So you've got to do the work, and then after you do the work, then you can bill us, and we only reimburse you for the work you did. So it's really not much of a profit deal there. It's actually doing the good work, and that's our job, to make sure that our producers' money is spent correctly.
Right. Thank you so much. That was very good definition of exactly how the checkoff works. We appreciate having you on the show, and thank you for your leadership to our industry.
Thanks, Kevin.
Now, to learn more about your checkoff dollars and how they're being used to increase beef demand, go to beefboard.org and click on The Drive to subscribe to a free newsletter that highlights the positive ways the checkoff is impacting beef producers.